Hello, and welcome to Playing by Ear. I am Kyle.
I'm Amy.
And I'm Doug.
Each episode of this podcast, one of us or a guest will bring an album they love to be presented and analyzed track by track to explore what makes it special and why they think it's not just worth playing, but worth replaying. On this episode today, I am bringing to the group the Kinks are the Village Green Preservation Society. It's the Kinks, and I'm really excited about this, guys.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear what you have to say here because this was your pick, and tell us why you wanted to bring this one to the group.
So it must have been about 18 months ago. I got Apple Music and I started going crazy and kind of going through bands, and I went through all the Beatles. It might have been around the time that we did our Beatles podcast, and I got to the Kinks and I'm like, okay, cool. I know Lola. And I'm like, I know, Sunny Afternoon. I knew a few of these songs. And then I started looking at, let's see what else these guys got. Because they came out the same time as the Beatles came out. So I started kind of playing around with some tracks. And I was liking it. And then I saw this album. This particular album jumped out because it's one of their more famous ones. And it looked kind of like a concept album. So I just took it from the top one day. It must have been February, March of 2024. And I just went all the way through it. And I was blown away by it. I kept playing over and over again. I remember going on a vacation last year to Alaska, and it was sort of my theme song in my brain the whole trip. And I just sort of fell in love with this album. This album came out in 1968, so it's been out there for a really long time. I kind of knew the Kinks, but not really. Since then, I've gone on a Kink mission, and I could talk about a lot of other Kink stuff, probably not necessary, but I've learned to know the Kinks because of this album. I just kind of fell in love with it, started listening to all the songs, and I'm really looking forward to this because I brought this one to the group, and I'm really curious to see what kind of feedback I would get from you guys on this.
Yeah, so I know Amy and I both, neither of us had heard this album before you brought it, but Amy, I'll ask, do you have any prior experience with the Kinks at all?
None of the song titles sound familiar to me, although there is one that You Got Me.
You really got me.
Yeah.
That's their biggest.
Is there a cover of that, or that's the one?
Van Halen did a cover, and it might have been more popular, but yeah.
Is it Girl, You Really Got Me Now?
That's it?
Yep.
Okay. I think that's the only one I know, and I should have listened to it before we started this podcast, although we're not talking about it, so it doesn't really matter. So I guess my answer is no. No prior experience.
They also did Lola. You know the song Lola, right?
I don't think so. Can you sing it?
Lola, la 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 Lola.
I met you in a club down in Old Soho where you drink champagne and it tastes just like sherry cola. C-O-L-A cola. Nope, not doing anything.
I mean, maybe like 5% familiar sounding. So, yeah. This is not...
You don't know this band?
I don't know this band. It just never came to me. And it's surprising because our dad listened to like solely 60s music in the car. It was that or nothing when he was driving, which obviously was always. So I'm surprised that maybe it was on the radio and I just don't remember hearing it because I feel like he would have listened to this.
Well, and for me, my knowledge of the Kinks is basically their three biggest hits, which is the two we already talked about. You Really Got Me, Lola, and All Day and All of the Night.
Oh, okay.
Which is also pretty similar in sound to You Really Got Me. And what I knew about them was they were sort of looked at as, one of the most important bands in terms of what would ultimately become punk music because of those two songs, that sound. And I was really surprised when we got to this album that it doesn't have that sound. It's not that. It sounds way more like something like the Monkees than it does. And yeah, this is a blind spot for me. I love British Invasion stuff. I should have been in the pocket for it, but for whatever reason, the Kinks passed me by, and I just knew that among people who like the Kinks, this is generally looked at as an important album, probably because it was a commercial flop when it came out.
It was. That's true.
So it became I guess people who are getting into the Kinks are like, oh man, you don't want to skip by this one. Nobody noticed it at the time, but now it's a hidden gem.
It kind of became one of those cult classics. It took it some time, but when it came out, it did not get received well. But yeah, later on, it definitely came across.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's our personal experience with it. I guess that puts it at time for overall thoughts and impressions. I'm not sure who we start with. I'm always bad at remembering our batting order.
I'm going to go last for this since I might be a little more obvious because I picked it. So why don't we keep the order that we did last time, which is just youngest to oldest? I kind of like that.
Okay, Amy, you're up.
How do I do it without giving away like my whole?
Just you can be more
general.
vague. Yeah, general.
Okay, this is okay. I mean, there's definitely songs on it that are really catchy, and like I had to listen to this album a lot because I felt like every time I'd get about halfway and then my brain would kind of trail off in a way that was like, oh, this sounds like every other song on the album. And so like I'd have to like rewind and like start listening again. So I would say like overall I've listened to this thing like probably 5 times or longer. I mean, each song was only like 2.5 minutes long. So
it's a quickie, yeah.
Yeah, it's quickie, and it was like, oh, it's not going to take me long to analyze this. But we'll see how well I do at my analyzing, because I just felt like so much of it sounded so repetitive, and maybe musically it's not, and maybe you guys can like share more about that. But yeah, this I mean, it was okay. Like I said, like there were definitely some super catchy ones, and then there were some that just sounded so repetitive to the rest of them. So that's kind of where I landed with it. And I would say that there's maybe 3 or 4 that I would maybe put on, like I would listen to again. But I think I'm at a point where I've heard enough of the Kinks and I need a break from them. Yeah, it's like a week of listening to them straight.
Yeah, and it's not a representative sample as we talked about from what they normally do, right? And it also this is as you mentioned, it's a concept album, so you have to kind of grade it differently, because you realize they're not just going for like, here is a collection of 15 songs that you might enjoy. This is a collection of 15 songs that kind of work together, not necessarily to tell a story. It's not like Tommy, but it has like kind of a a concept. There's something they're trying to get across, right? There's a little more thought put into making these things cohesive. I do tend to agree with you, Amy, though, that this was a little more Teflon for me. I had to listen to it a lot of times because they have a relatively homogenous sound here from song to song, and they kind of run right into each other, and they're so short that you like might not even realize, oh, it's over, and now a new one has started. So I had to actively listen a lot, and I listened to this album probably 20 times between when Kyle assigned it and today. So I do like it, and it's interesting to see what they're going for. It didn't, I don't want to say it blew me away, but I was like, this gave me a new appreciation for this band, because I had a pretty probably warped conception of what they were and what they were like, and it's really interesting to see Ray Davies stretch for something like this.
Yeah, cool Kyle? Stuff. I like hearing you guys. That's cool enough to hear. It's an interesting point in the Kinks' career, because in the early 60s, around 63 to 65, they sort of had these more Beatlesque, more kind of garage bandy, but Beatlesque, not produced very well, just kind of, trio, quartet, whatever it is they are. Then they got into this point in their career, which hit in 1966 with an album called Face to Face, and they sort of kept this thing going for the next 4 or 5 albums. That to me is the pinnacle of their career. I've gone through the early stuff, which is kind of the middle, and then some of the late stuff, I think there's a decline and they're definitely not as good, but I think that this album is about where they hit their peak. Maybe a little after. There's an album called Arthur and Lola, which may be considered the peak. Amy, you said a few things like catchy. I wrote down your words, catchy and repetitive. I actually, and I don't remember in what context you used the word catchy, but I'll just say, like, I actually don't think that the songs are super catchy. That's one thing about this album, is that I like a lot of the songs, and we'll get into the gradings and all that, but there's none on here that are A+ songs. I can just say that. Like, there's not a Hey Jude, right? There's not a Let It Be or a Welcome to the Jungle, but to me, a lot of them are good. They're really good, and I think that's why it holds for me, is that there's a lot of good, not a lot of shit, and some great. I think it is sort of repetitive. I think the songs kind of do sound alike, and I think, like you said, Doug, the whole concept album thing, I think that's kind of the point of it, is that it is kind of supposed to feel a certain way, which it does. And I like it. I just think that it all blends into itself really well. I think that I've listened to this album in total probably 20 to 30 times over the last few weeks, probably only 2 or 3, because I already knew it so well. Where was I going with that? I lost my train of thought. Isn't that fun? That's what happens when we get into this late at night.
There's a song, if you've seen This Is Spinal Tap, there's a moment in the movie where they all gather around a radio, and it's like, oh my god, it's their first hit, right? And of course, in the movie, they're this kind of heavy metal band, but this was the first hit they had back in the 60s, and it's this song called Cups and Cakes. And it's like the tone of that song is like, that's the first thing I thought of. Like, oh, okay, very British invasion. Like, we're going to talk about, tea time in the English countryside. And it was like, they must have had something like this in mind when they wrote it. Like, this is the sound we're going for.
Yeah, it's almost like, and there's almost satire in there too. Like some of the songs, we'll get specifics where it feels like it's kind of comedy where you're not supposed to take it too serious, and I really like that. I really like that it's not this hardcore serious album, but it's not just like really light like Weird Al. It's kind of in the middle where you can take some stuff kind of seriously, but a lot of it is it's kind of comedic. Like it's kind of jokey. Like we'll get into the certain songs that are like that. It's going to be fun.
The other thing I was going to say is just, you guys are talking about I don't really know concept, but like as an album that's like cohesive in like themes, like yes, the music is repetitive, but I also think the themes are very repetitive in terms of like most of them, unless I'm interpreting them wrong, are very nostalgia based. And so I think that's very clear that this is like, let's look on past times. And so I appreciate it for that like for the most part, like every song, at least like the first half, like has that element of like times of the past and good times. And like, I appreciate that.
Yeah. And getting to the kind of cheeky parts of it, or cheekier parts of it, like you could feel this kind of being like, it's not quite Monty Python, but this is the same era when Monty Python's Flying Circus was happening. And so you can feel a little, again, that show often would satirize kind of like quiet English life, the way this does. So I could feel that. And the other interesting thing I thought about it is this album is 1968. Like, this is the height of like psychedelia, like exactly. Let's get fucking weird for weird's sake. And this album doesn't do that. Like there's no sitars, right? There's no like
there's elements of that.
There's
elements. One of the songs. I don't know the names of them, but you can hear the background. It goes like it kind of does that, like
a little bit.
Oh, what's happening here?
No. There's stuff. I'm not saying there isn't interest or like unusual things they do, but comparing it to Strawberry Alarm Clock, stuff from that era that was the Doors, like real psychedelic stuff. Like this isn't there. Like they're doing their own thing. It's different, but it's not in that like direction. So.
Yeah, it's weird because, there's a couple that have psychedelic vibes, but overall it doesn't have that full-on tripped-out psychedelic vibe. But the funny thing is that it actually does feel like 1968. For some reason, it still feels like it came out during those times, which is interesting.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get into the track by track, I guess.
So we're going to start here with the first song. The first thing I'll say is that the whole album was written by the lead singer, Ray Davies. There's one song that his brother sings that we'll get to, but he wrote the whole album. So Amy's going to kick us off on the first track, which to me is kind of like the title track, although there are sort of like two title tracks on this album. So it's called The Village Green Preservation Society at 2 minutes and 49 seconds.
We are the Village Green Preservation Society. God save Donald Duck, Vaudeville and variety. We are the Desperate Dan Appreciation Society. God save strawberry jam and all the different varieties. Serving the old ways from being abused. Protecting the new ways for me and for you. What more can we do? We are the Draft Beer Preservation Society. God save Mrs. Moss and good old Mother Riley. We are the custard pie.
Take us away, Amy.
All right. Well, when I first heard this album, I was like, this is like a perfect little opening little beat of a song. Like, it's kind of cute. And like, honestly, I gave it a 73% when I first was rating it. But over time, like when I listened to it today for the last time, I actually bumped it up like almost 10% because I was like, actually, I like this one a lot more than I thought I liked it. It's really catchy. It sets up the theme to me of like the music being like about appreciation and nostalgia and kind of, I don't honestly know what he's talking about, so
Agreed.
I don't know, but like, I mean, it was catchy, and usually I like to analyze lyrics, and a lot of this I kind of didn't understand what he was trying to say. I think he's fucking with us in some ways. But there's like cute little whistle sounds in it, and it's, you know, it's a cute little opening track that's very Beatlesque to me. And so I landed. Do you want me to tell percentages now, or we'll do that?
We'll do it at the end.
Okay, we'll do that a little bit later. So this was a middle of the road, nice, catchy, cute little song that kind of sets up for what the rest of the album's going to be about.
Yeah, I like this one as well. I think, you know, as you said, Amy, it feels like a theme song in a way. You know, literally it says, "We are the Village Green Preservation Society," but that is sort of like the jumping off point for this song and the album as a whole. Of this, again, as we keep kind of coming back to this idea of like, we're going to preserve the old ways, and he lists off these, like, you know, things that are, I guess, precious to them, you know, that they look back on fondly, right? They talk about Donald Duck, vaudeville, and variety, but it starts to, like, as he kind of turns it a couple of times through the song, they get weirder. So, like, there's a verse where he starts off, "We are the Custard Pie Appreciation Consortium," which is like, it's a series of words that, like, have the same number of syllables, right? They just sort of, as the first line about...
You just kind of fit it in there.
Yeah, and it's like this idea of, like, just preservation for preservation's sake. And again, these idea of these, like, again, if you see, like, Hot Fuzz, right, satirizing this, that movie I love, but like this idea of like little gatherings of community groups, right? So this idea of the Custard Pie Appreciation Consortium, it's a bunch of old ladies that get together and talk about pies, right? Something like that, like life in the countryside. And I think the kind of tinkling piano that is kind of the backbone of the song, like, fits all that. It sounds like something you'd hear in a parlor. So yeah, this one was high up for me overall. Like I think it was really a fun way to kick things off, and I mean, again, coming into this expecting all day and all of the night and getting this was like, oh, okay, we're off for something a little more interesting then.
Yeah, I agree with the whole lead-off track thing, and I think I'm probably going to say things as we go through this is why this album has had such an impact on me. One of the things that I always look at when it comes to an album is the order, is like making sure when you construct an album, you know, you put something up front that makes sense that it should be up front. I think when we did the Jason Mraz album, whatever that last song was, doesn't matter, but that actually felt like a closer. This song feels like a lead-off track, which I really, really like about it. It feels title-esque. It feels like, hey, we're getting the party going. Like, this is what we got to say. I like the chord progression. I think that it's really cool how it kind of does the same. Even though it's repetitive, it descends, like ding, ding, ding. It kind of goes down, which I think is really cool. And even though that it's going over and over again, he's saying different things every time. And kind of like what you said, Amy, like, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. I don't even hear all of the words, but it's cool for me as a listener because I like that. Like, if you listen to a song like "I Want to Hold Your Hand" by the Beatles, like, you know, everyone knows all the words after like 5 times. This one's the kind of song where you can kind of just keep going through it and kind of hear new things every time you listen, which is sort of fun for me. There's a key change in there that I think is very nice. Like I said, it's very repetitive. And yeah, overall, this is middle of the ground for me. I like this one. It's not my favorite. It's not my worst. It's good. It's good. Yeah, that's about all I got to say about it. And I guess we'll just go around and do our grades now, right?
Yep.
Or percentages or whatever.
Yeah, we're going with percentages. I think we decided that was a little easier.
We switched it up from the last podcast.
A little easier to do the math with numbers instead of letters. So.
All right, so for me, this was an 82%.
I gave this a 90%.
Wow, okay. I gave it an 85.
So right there in the middle.
Okay.
All right.
What's up next?
All right, so the next song that we're doing is a song called "Do You Remember Walter?" This one's a little shorter, as a lot of the album is very short in this lower 2 minutes and 28 seconds.
Walter, remember when the world was young and all the girls knew Walter's name? Walter, isn't it a shame the way our little world has changed? Do you remember Walter playing cricket in the thunder and the rain? Do you remember Walter smoking cigarettes behind your garden gate?
As we know, it was written by Ray. Go ahead, Doug. Take us there.
Yeah, so this is an interesting one. I think this one is more, again, it's kind of piano forward and also kind of percussion forward. There's kind of these like rat-a-tat kind of drums in it. And it is a little more, the first one is bouncy and kind of light. This one's also has kind of a bounce to it, but it kind of goes bop, 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 bop as it kind of like plods along. And what I appreciated about this one was they sort of took this idea of remembering just the generalized nostalgia vibe of the first song. And here they're talking about a particular person. Now, the character of Walter doesn't really matter, but Walter is a stand-in for, like, the person you were close with at one point in time, and now you're just kind of wondering, oh, whatever happened to that guy? You know, like, I wonder what they're doing now, you know, and just the kind of, I think we all do that from time to time. We think about a person from our past, and, you know, now with, I guess, you know, social media, you can try to stalk them and find out exactly how they're doing. But, you know, back in 1968, you just had to sort of wonder, you know, whatever became of that person. So yeah, I enjoyed this one, and I kind of appreciated it for like what it was trying to say. I think melodically, it's right down the middle for me. So yeah, I'll turn it over to you, Kyle.
Okay. Yeah, like you mentioned the piano. I like it. I like how that this song feels different from the first song. Like I feel like we're going kind of a different direction, even though the style still feels kind of the same. It feels like it's definitely different than the first one. Like I said, I like the piano. I think that the drum beat is really cool. The lyrics are really cool. Like, do you remember Walter? I don't know what he's talking about, except he's like this guy we used to know. For some reason, the song kind of paints a picture for me. I don't really know what that is, but when I hear it, I sort of imagine. I don't know what I imagine, but it's visual. It's visual, whereas a song like... kind of like a song like Paradise City. I'm back to Guns N' Roses, which I said a while ago. Like, you can picture a Paradise City where the grass is green and the girls are pretty. This song doesn't necessarily talk about things that make me picture something, but it still paints some sort of mental picture to me. I think the chords are cool. I really like the way this starts with that little da-dong, 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 da-dong. It feels kind of like a short little epic song, even though it's not really that epic at all. It's got its standard parts. I really like this one. This is it's one of the better ones, I think, on the album. Amy?
Yeah, so this one, like you guys said, it's got like this fun like piano, and then the drums kick in, kind of fun. Again, I wrote down it's like Beatlesque to me. There's like a nice little melody change after the first line, which I don't know if we're going to be playing this for the people, but I liked that part of it. The Walter, isn't it a shame part, like kind of switches there, which is like kind of cute. And then like towards the end of the song, I was kind of like rereading the lyrics a lot. So for this one, it was just kind of like, it's positive, but it's also like negative. So like, Walter, you're just an echo of a world I knew so long ago. Like at the beginning, you think he's talking like fondly upon like on this person that he used to know, but then it kind of like gets this little twist of like, Walter, if you saw me now, you wouldn't know my name. I bet you're fat and married. Next to that, I wrote, what? LOL. And you're always home in bed by 8:30. And if I talked about the old times, you'd get bored. So it's just like kind of like this negative spin. Like it's almost like he's
It's
ashamed.
like the Walter grew up and got married and everyone else was still partying or something like that.
Yeah. Or like he went and like found a career and he thinks that Walter would think that, not a career, but like a bit like, you know, like fame and fortune and lifestyle things that come along with like being a musician. And like he would think that Walter is like judging him for that. You'd have nothing more to say. Yes, people often change, but memories of people can remain, which I thought was like a nice way to end the song. So I don't really know if he's like fond of Walter or if there's like some bitterness or some like concern that he wouldn't be accepted for who he is now. I'm not really sure, but I thought like it kind of blends it. The transition from the first song to the next, like I said earlier in the beginning, like thematically it works. Like we want to preserve old life. Oh, here, let's talk about this guy that we used to know in our older life. So I thought the song was okay. I'm actually surprised that it ranked higher percentage-wise than the last one. I think in hindsight, I should flip that, but that's okay.
You haven't given your rating, your percentage yet, so you got a few seconds.
It's okay. I don't think it matters.
All right. So what is your rating for Do You Remember Walter?
Me first? I gave it an 85%. Oh, sorry. Did I cut in line?
Yeah, whatever.
Doesn't matter.
It don't matter.
Yeah, I gave it an 80. I gave it an 80, a straight 80.
An 8?
An 80. Not an 8. No,
Just an 8.
That's fine.
If we ever get to that song, I got to hear that song.
That's the song I wrote.
Yeah, I gave it an 80%.
This is pretty high for me. I gave this one a 90.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
Next song we're going to do here, track number 3 on the album. This is called Picture Book, 2 minutes and 38 seconds.
Picture yourself when you're getting on. Sat by the fireside, pondering on. Picture book, pictures of your mama, taken by your papa a long time ago. Picture book of people with each other to prove they love each other a long time ago. Picture book, picture book, a picture of you in your birthday suit.
So I like this one. When I first heard the album, I feel like this was probably my favorite. I think probably because it's early on, and I'm like, oh, this sounds like it could be like a hit on the radio. It's just pretty catchy. The dun 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 dun. Very cool. I like it. I think I've heard it enough now, so it's probably not one of my favorites now. But it's cool and catchy, and it's fun. The guitar, I like the guitar bass line thing. Kind of reminds me like Warning by Green Day. It's like they were using that later on, kind of using that dun dun dun, that up and down thing, which is really cool. Don't have really too much to say about this song. It just kind of feels pop. I feel like there's a good distinction between the verse and the chorus. I feel like those parts are different, but they're still in the same vein, and it still feels like a pop song. There's not too many songs on this album that I think feel like pop, but this one does.
This one was just all right for me. Some of the things I wrote down on it, and I just had to listen to this one again, so that tells you that it's not super memorable for me. There's some interesting harmonies at the beginning. I thought the melody of the picture book, pictures of your mama, like that's a cute little melody and a hook there. What else did I write back? Oh, it sounds like the last song. I know we'll get to that in like 10 more songs, but like I feel like this and that are kind of like bookends with each other. Am I thinking of the right song?
Yeah, it's called People Take Pictures.
Yeah, so it kind of like fits like thematically there, and we can like look into that again later. Again, it's like more reminiscing, and there's a cute little guitar hook that happens midway through, like picture book. I don't know exactly. I just wrote that down, and that's kind of all I had to say about it. So this one was just kind of okay, not super memorable.
Yeah, see, I like the riff on this. It sounds a lot. I wonder if so, like when the Pixies did "Here Comes Your Man," they had this in mind. Like it's got a very similar hook. And again, I know the whole album kind of sounds a little like the Monkees, but this one in particular sounds very much like the Monkees. Lyrically, yeah, it's a lot of like Scooby Dooby na 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 na. Like it's not as complex lyrically, but this is another one that talks about somebody getting fat. His fat Uncle Charlie is mentioned in the lyrics.
I missed that.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's very concerned about his weight, I think.
Apparently. That stood out. But, this is fun. It's poppy. I think you had mentioned, Kyle, I don't know if this actually was meant as a single, because the album, again, commercially went nowhere. But if I was trying to pick a song on there to be a single in 1968, I think you probably would pick this, because it's the catchiest, and like you can kind of dance to it a little bit. So, I enjoyed Picture Book. I think this one was more of a standout than some of the others.
It's interesting how you said there was a name. What was the name that you said that they mentioned in the song?
Uncle Charlie.
Yeah, so that's a theme also to this album, and we'll get to some of the other songs, but there's been a Walter, there's going to be a Johnny coming up, there's a Monica later on. Like, there's definitely, like, they have this visual of these people's names, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I think, again, with the concept, right, he's thinking of, like, small country town in England. Mm-hmm. And, like, the people who populate it, right? The Beatles do this stuff, too. You know, there's lots of names dropped into songs that just, you don't know who this person is. You don't know who they're singing about. But putting a proper noun in there, or giving somebody a name, somehow makes this world feel populated.
Mm.
True.
Yeah. Like a world that everybody knows everybody else.
Like a familiarness.
Right.
Like where everybody knows your name.
All right. So do we do that? We did our grades.
We do our percentages.
Go ahead. Do your percentages. Yeah. Is it me? I kicked this one off.
Sure.
I gave this a 90.
Wow.
All right. I gave this one an 86.
Okay, and I'm a 78.
All right.
All right. On to number 4. Track number 4 off this album is Johnny Thunder, 2 minutes and 33 seconds.
Johnny Thunder lives on water, feeds on light. Johnny Thunder don't need no one, don't want more. And all the people of the town, they can't get through to Johnny. They will never ever break him down. Johnny Thunder speaks for no one, goes on to ride. And sweet Helena Doolin prays for Johnny.
All right, so this is another one that was kind of like, I wrote down, not that memorable, kind of meh. It starts with a guitar, which I guess is kind of interesting, and there's a way that he sings certain words in the song that stood out to me. So he like feeds on lightning, like he kind of goes up slightly, and like I don't know what it's called when you kind of like
falsetto kind of.
It's like I don't know.
Oh, that.
Yeah, that. Obviously.
Thunder and lightning.
Yeah, it's like you
that.
hold the note, but then you kind of like, what's that called when you kind of...
Vibrato?
Yeah, I think it's vibrato. Something I wish had gone on in this song was like, I really wanted it to... It just stays kind of in the middle, and I wanted it to like go up or down in some way, and I thought it just kind of stayed in the same spot, and that kind of was a bummer for me. So this song wasn't like a super standout, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. This is not one of my favorites. The word you're looking for is dynamics, and it doesn't have any dynamics. Like it's pretty much the same all the way through. Just la 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 la. God bless Johnny. Like it's just sort of all the same. And this one lyrically, I didn't know what to hang on to. I was kind of like, all right, they're talking about this guy, this Johnny Thunder guy, and I guess they're saying he's a little defiant, but not. I don't know. They didn't tell a story. Like this almost sounds like it should be like the Ballad of Big John Henry or something, where like we learn, like they really tell a story about who this guy is, and they don't quite do that. They just sort of talk about him, but they don't. Yeah, I wish this was a storyteller song. I feel like it would actually benefit a lot from feeling like it was the Ballad of Johnny Thunder instead of just here's a guy.
Okay. I dig this one. I think this is a really good one for me. I really like off the bat. It comes out. It's kind of got acoustic. It feels already different than the last 3 songs that came before it. I actually do think there's quite a bit of dynamics in the song, but to me, it's all in the vocals because he sings it kind of low with the Johnny Thunder, and then like you said, Amy, he goes out. Thunder and lightning, da 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 da. It's got those background vocals, which is just really cool. I really dig it. I think it's really hooky and it's well produced, and again, it paints another picture. It might be the fact that there's a name in there, but to me, I feel like this is the point where I'm getting through an album and I get to this 4th track, and I'm like, so far, even though there's a similar vibe through all the songs, is that none of them sound really too close together. It doesn't sound like heavy metal to where each song's stylistically the same. I feel like they're all been different at this point, and yeah, so I definitely feel that way about this one. It's different, and I like the different instrumentation, the kind of acoustic in there, and again, the names, which I already mentioned. I think, yeah, I really like this one. I'll just bust out my my rating. I gave this one an 89.
75 for me.
77.
Okay, a little lower for you guys.
Yep.
All right.
So it's me.
We are doing a song called Last of the Steam-Powered Trains. I believe this is the longest song on the album at 4 minutes and 3 seconds.
Like the last of the good old pumper train, I'm the last of the blood and sweat brigade, and I don't know where I'm going, or I came.
Yeah, this is a blues number, which is different. This really does sound like they downshift into like a not, it's not quite country western blues, but it's a little bit of that, like, just we're talking about a train. Do do ba do do do. The bass line is almost got that Aerosmith song, Same Old Song and Dance. There's a little bit dun dun ba do 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 do, but it's also a little sing-songy, and it's mid-tempo. It's pretty slow. I think this needed some oomph to really make it go, because again, lyrically, it's sort of like talking about trains, I guess. Last of the steam-powered trains, and he kind of holds that note for a long time. So for me, this never quite came together. It was just sort of like, it feels like a little bit of a filler for me. So I wasn't crazy about it. I appreciated they were doing something different. I like the kind of the blues and harmonica things. You could see where they were going for, but I just didn't love this one.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely bluesy. I think that again, we're at to a point in the album where we still haven't had too much repetition. There's no other song yet that sounds like this. It's got that, I believe it has a harmonica going on in there, right?
Yeah, I wrote down harmonica.
To me, the way that he sings this song, it kind of reminds me of Creedence a little bit, with a little bit more bluesy. It's very basic. I don't think that when it comes to songwriting that this is necessarily anything that's really special. But I just really like the way he belts it out, and I love that bass, that hook that just keeps going over and over again. I feel like this is the kind of song that would sound really good in a bar in Memphis, but you wouldn't hear it on the radio also. So it kind of has two sides of it, to where you want to hear like a band play it live, but you don't really want to listen to this, on the radio next to like a pop song. But I like this one. There's middle of the road overall, but I like it. Amy?
Yeah, this was, I wrote down, like, this was the first one that I liked on my first run through. So, like, that says a lot. Like, I thought it was, like, really catchy. It's got, is it a bass?
I think guitar and the bass are doing it.
I like that. I liked the harmonica. It's a little bit repetitive again, but it's memorable. And then the lyrics, I mean, he's not actually talking about a train. He's calling himself the train. He's saying he's the last steam-powered train. Everyone else is peaceful living, driving me insane. I'm the soot and scum brigade. So it's like an interesting like comparison there. I'm not sure, if it's good to be the steam-powered train or not. I don't know really what he's trying to say, but he is, huff and puff till I blow this world away. So he's trying to say something there, which I like. I like that he's trying to I guess stand apart from everybody else, or just realizes he's standing apart and he's not boring at home like his fat family members. So yeah, I mean, I like this one. I thought it was catchy, and it's interesting. I mean, we do these things, and like, it's like you guys don't like songs that I do. Like, I don't know what it is about music that, like, why is it that I think this is an okay song and you guys are like less in love with it than me?
I think that's what makes it so fun on these podcasts, is that, especially with the three of us, because we all come from, even you and I, Amy, like, we have different feelings about music. So it's cool to we got it all covered between the three of us.
I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about musically or lyrically tonight, apparently, but it's kind of fun to analyze a little bit.
More amaretto for you.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't want to drink anymore. I have a little bit to loosen me up. I actually want some water. Is that right over here?
Yes.
Okay. I have some water. We can cut that.
So I think it's time for letter grade or percentages, right?
Yes.
Was this me?
I think it's you first, Kyle.
Me. Okay. Middle of the road for me. I gave this one an 84.
86 for me.
I gave it a 70. It just didn't work for me, but that's okay.
Okay. All right, on to the next one. Next song is Big Sky, and it is 2:49, another shorty.
Big sky, look down on all the people looking up at the big sky. Everybody's pushing one another around. Big sky feels sad when you see the children scream and cry. But the big sky too big to let it get him down. Big sky too big to cry. Big sky too high to see.
believe, I don't even know who's going.
I think it's
Is it
you.
me? It's me. Okay, Big Sky. So first time I heard this song, this was the point of the album where I was really stoked about everything, and then I got to this song and I was not excited. I probably skipped over it. I think probably many of the first times I listened to this, I sort of just went past it. But I know it, and then this week, kind of going through this album again, this is one that I probably listened to a little bit more to make sure I got some notes. I gotta say, I probably like it more now that I've listened to it than I did originally, like a year ago. I think the music is cool. It's catchy. I don't really like the talking vocals that he kind of does at the beginning, like "Daughter of the Big Sky," or big, whatever he's saying. Like, it's not really musical, so I don't really. That really doesn't vibe with me that much. But I do like the chorus. I think that the chorus is really cool and melodic, and it feels kind of like an epic song for some reason, even though it's only 3 minutes. It still feels kind of epic to me. So I think I like it. I like it more than I did when I first heard the album. But overall, it's probably on the low side of my favorites on this album. Not wonderful. Amy?
Yeah, this one's just not really doing it for me. I wrote down interesting guitar riff, but honestly, I can't remember what that. I'd have to listen to remember actually what it was. The talking kind of, I don't know. I don't need talking in a song. I want to hear someone sing,
Yeah.
And then I wrote down the background just kind of starts to be hard to listen to. This is where I kind of my brain would start to taper off and I'm still listening to this. I got to write this down. What am I doing? Because it kind of sounded musically like the other ones that were happening before. I also don't know what he's trying to say. Is Big Sky God? I don't know. Yeah, so
Montana. It's Montana.
Right.
So yeah, not a big fan.
I think it's really interesting because I really like this one a lot. I think the riff is really good. That I think that's a really strong, heavy riff to anchor the song. I don't mind the talking so much because it's over kind of quick, and it again in terms of dynamics, it's he gets to the singing pretty quickly after that. So you're getting these talking parts and singing parts, and he changes up the melody, the pace. There's a lot of different changes happening within an only 3-minute song. I think that's why you felt it. It feels kind of epic. It's because there's a lot happening in all these different little pieces of it. The talking thing kind of reminds me of some of their contemporaries, guys like Donovan, would have songs where he was talking like this, or the Moody Blues, which I listened to a lot of growing up, would do things like this. So for me, I really liked this. This is kind of a high point for me of the album. I just sort of liked how all these different parts came together, and I think lyrically, I think he's exactly talking about God, because he's talking about the people are looking up at the big sky to do something for them. The big sky is looking down, going I don't know, and that's kind of what it's about, this relationship between God and man, and that's more epic than a lot of the cups and cakes stuff in the rest of the album. So. For me, I just thought there was a lot going on, both musically and lyrically, to kind of sink my teeth into. So it's interesting that you guys were so much more lukewarm on it. So, yeah.
Interesting. So different. Different feelings.
Time for grades? Yeah. I think it's you, Aim.
Oh, how do you remember?
We're rotating around. Kyle went first.
All right. For me, it's a 70.
Okay, I gave it a 95.
Wow.
I gave it a 72.
I think we're going to average out pretty well here.
We're going to be close, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so we're at the next song, which is "Sitting by the Riverside." This is the last side on the the last song on the first side of the album. Again, it's short. A lot of these songs are in the 2 to 2:30 range. This is 2:21.
This one sounds different. This has got more of a catchy little hook to it. It kind of feels like Americana, or I don't know if that's the right word. I don't even know if there's like a banjo in there, but it feels like there should be a banjo in there. Like Southern, you got a nice little piano melody, and then it kind of like gets a little psychedelic. It's one of those ones that gets a little psychedelic in the middle. But to me, this one like gave me a vision of like Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Like you're sitting there, you're rocking on your rocking chair, you're sitting by the riverside. I don't know. It's kind of cute. It's catchy.
I mean, they set out to write a song called Sitting Down by the Riverside, and that is exactly what it sounds like. As you said, like it's very pastoral. It's slow. It's kind of lazy. Da, 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 da. Again, it's another piano forward one. For me, this is just okay. I wrote in my notes, very Mrs. Tiggy Winkle. Like, it's got a little, like, no, yes, we're all sitting and having crisps or whatever, or down by the riverside. And so it's fine. It never went anywhere enough for me. It was just kind of like, all right, it's just sort of there.
So I think this is my toilet song. And when I say that, I mean, like, if I'm listening to the whole album, Amy's looking at me like, what do you mean? Like, you're going to take a dump while you're... This is, if I was listening to this song, the whole album, and it was in its entirety, and it was a concert, and I had to go to the bathroom, and I had to pick the song when I had to leave, this would probably be the one. I think that it's actually a fairly well-written song. I think it's fairly quality. I said the same comment about a song on the Jason Mraz album, that this feels hotel loungy to me. Not that I don't think that it's good, but it's not really my jam. It's not really rock at all. I mean, I guess at this point in the album, the cool thing is diversity. We're getting to a point where this is nothing like anything before it on the album that I actually think is really cool. And it actually makes the album better, but I'm not really digging the song. I do think that that's kind of cool and psychedelic towards, I think, the middle and the end, where it kind of reminds me a little bit of like the end of A Day in the Life or Benefit of Mr. Kite. Kind of gets a little trippy, circusy, which is pretty cool. I'd say maybe if I heard the song stand alone, not by the Kinks and not on what I think is a really good album, maybe I would like it more. But just with everything else, I think there's so much quality. This one's just not hitting home for me.
Okay.
So we're up to grades on this one. I think I go first. I give this one a 65. It never got there for me. It was like, it's all right.
66 for me, Doug. So just about the same.
I mean, we really do represent the masses, you guys. This one's a 92 for me.
Wow.
I love that. That's why we do this podcast, is because we're getting all of it covered.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, listeners, we are at the second side of this album. The next song is called Animal Farm, 2 minutes and 57 seconds.
This world is big and wild and half insane. Take me where real animals are playing. Just a dirty old shack where the hound dogs bark.
So I like this one. Again, if you're, we have to remember in the 60s, right, this would be the opening track to the second half of the album. So you would have to like literally gotten to the end of the last song, walked over to your record player, flipped the thing over. And because of that, you get sort of this built-in intermission that's not there when you just listen to the album now on iTunes but so as an opener, I think this is great. Like, it reintroduces you to kind of, again, this pastoral world that he's talking about. I enjoy the melody here. Again, this one has a little bit of a Beatles White Album kind of sound to it. There's stuff like this on that album as well. And the only thing was I kept looking in the lyrics for, like, what's the connection to George Orwell? There isn't one. There was not. It has the title Animal Farm, but it's not meant to have any direct ties to that novel. So I kind of wish that there was. I feel like you could have, like, put another interesting layer into the lyrics by doing that. But nevertheless, like I just found it. Yeah, this was a just nice kind of acoustic guitar piece describing. Again, we're back on the farm.
Okay. Yeah, you're right, Doug. When it comes to, an era, or I guess just in time where, you'd have to flip over a record, or even going into the 70s and the 80s when we were kids, you'd have to flip over a tape, right? I mean, this is the second side. I mean, in a lot of situations, the tape doesn't end where the second side ends, so you have to flip the tape and then actually hit rewind and wait a couple seconds. So there's definitely an intermission that listeners used to have to deal with music. And I like the way that this kicks off the second side. It feels like that, which is really cool. The first time I heard this song, it actually felt like something I knew. The way that he starts off with, what does he say? Like, this world is coming, da, 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 da. That just felt familiar. I don't even know that I ever really heard it before a year and a half ago, but it felt really familiar. I like that there's like that tempo change, because he starts off where he's kind of by himself, and then the music kind of kicks in. It almost feels like when he's singing by himself, he's in a different tempo, and then it kind of speeds and kicks in. So I like that. It feels fairly like a pop song. Overall, though, this is not one of my favorites. I would say it's probably lower middle for me. I don't love it. I wouldn't ever, I don't think, put this song on if I were to listen to the album. I don't know that I would skip it. It might be a skipper. It's not like a bathroom song like the last, but it's kind of I could probably do without it. I don't know that it would be in my top 10 on a 15-song album, but it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be really intentional if you're gonna flip an album over and have a new start. And this to me doesn't deliver. Like, I know we're listening to it all the way through and it doesn't really apply anymore, but just thinking through how in the past you'd have to flip it over and maybe you'd come back to it the next day and it's the lead off again. Nothing really stood out to me about this song. Thematically it works because it's more reminiscing. And then one of the lyrics that I underlined was it's a quiet, quiet life by a dirty old shack that we called our home. I want to be back. So it's kind of a bummer. He wants to be back there and he's not. And I don't know. I don't really have that much to say about this one, guys.
Fair. Okay. I think it's me then, right? Do I go for the grade first?
Yeah.
Sure.
Percentage. 71. I guess I can call that a C- officially. 71.
I wrote down a 78, but I don't know that that's really accurate. But that's what it is. That's the grade it got.
I give this an 87. I liked it a little more than you guys, but it's still, it's kind of middle for me.
It's from 71, 78, 87. It's a pretty wide range of opinion that we got here.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to end right at 80. I feel like all of our math is 80.
You guys did all the math, so we will be able to bust that out at the end, right?
It all evens out, yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to need a little hint of the next one.
All right, we're at Village Green. Again, we're sort of at another version of the title track. This is a lot shorter. It's only 2:08.
Out in the country, far from all the sort of noise of the city, there's a village green. It's been a long time since I last set eyes on the church with the steeple down by the village green. There I met a girl called Daisy and kissed her by the old oak tree. Although I loved my Daisy, I saw fame, and so I left the village green. I miss the village green and all the simple people. I miss the village green, the church, the clock, the steeple. I miss the morning dew.
So off the bat, I love that we're in theme land. Village Green. We've already had the Village Green Preservation Society as a song. That's the title of the album. I like just the whole, everything feels the same. I think it's really cool. It keeps it concept-y. I believe I heard that this song was the first, maybe not the first that they wrote, but I think that they actually recorded this possibly a year before the rest of the album. So this was one of the first ones out of all the tracks, I believe. I think that's what I read. I think the chords are cool. I think that harpsichord kind of acoustic guitar is really nice. We haven't seen anything like this in the album. What else did I write down for this? Yeah, so I wrote down that he sings in there, "I miss the village green," and it's interesting the way he says that, because the way that he says that, it makes you feel like, oh well, I missed that too, because I heard that song like 18 minutes ago or whatever it is, and it kind of makes you feel like you're in that same universe of song, because he's already reminding you of something that he misses that we heard a little while ago. So I think that that's pretty cool. I wish that other bands would do that. Going back to Guns N' Roses, it's like if later on the album they were saying, "I remember Welcome to the Jungle," like you just don't hear that with that kind of more serious music. So I like that. Again, I think it helps it feel very concept album-ish. Not my favorite song by any means, but I think it's melodic and I think it's cool.
I was just shuffling through my papers because I couldn't remember if he also said antiquities in a different song that has already happened. But I can't find it. So I'm not sure if I'm remembering that I've already taken notes on this or just that it... No, I think he says antiquities maybe in the first song. I don't know. I can't find it. But you're right. Like, that's a callback. And that's, that's good. I wrote down that I thought the song was really cute. It sounded different to me. Like, to me, this maybe should have been the lead off of side 2. There's more nostalgia there. There's kind of like a cool echoing in the background. And then I don't know if it's actually minor, but it feels like it like gets minor in the chorus. Maybe it's minor the whole way. I don't know. You guys talk about that, but it kind of changes and it gets like slightly darker in the chorus. So that stood out to me. And then there's like some sadness in the lyrics about, although I loved my Daisy, I sought fame, and so I left the village green. So, there's some sadness there for him. There's sadness in like moving on and having like some fondness for those memories and of a different time. So I like this one. This one's okay.
Yeah, this one was one of the ones I liked a lot. Again, that minor key, the harpsichord, it's almost got kind of a Renaissance kind of sound to it. I also wrote, this is another one that sounds like one of the more experimental things on the White Album. Again, same year, I believe. Close
right
to
around
it.
there.
Yeah. And so I liked, you can't help but you have to compare it to the opening track, right? Just from the title alone. And I'm sure they want you to do that. It is interesting that I think you're right. If this was the opening track to this side, it would make that comparison work even better. But yeah, like the opening track, right, is like, we need to preserve the past because we're looking through it through all this rose tinted glass. And here it's more like this is more regretful in some ways looking back. Yeah. And so, yeah, it's a good pairing, but even just standing on its own, this is one of my favorites in the album. I think, yeah, it really is a stronger melody and an interesting, more standout kind of production because of the different instruments used.
It's interesting about like going back to song order, because you guys both said, I think that this would be a good lead off track for the second side, which I think probably would be. I agree. But the song placement is so important, because you would never put this song like second, right? You can't go from the first Village Green right into the second. Like, this is definitely meant to be like later on in the album. So I think that the way that they constructed the order it's pretty good. Like, it's sort of perfect. I mean, I don't even know how bands go about picking an order. I just came out with my album that has 7 songs on it, and I lost sleep over trying to figure out the order. You got 15 songs here in a concept album. I mean, I would just assign it to someone and pay them money to do it.
I'm realizing, like, you asked me to help you put your songs in order, and I never got back to you. I'm sorry.
Well, I never sent you the songs, because once you said that's not your thing, I think you said something like you listen to random, which is what some of my kids do.
I'm shuffling.
Yeah.
I'm a shuffler.
Some people don't care about it, so I totally get it.
Okay. And also, I did get your text with your album. We had a very busy day. I haven't had a chance to listen to it, but I will.
Oh, you're good. And you can get it on iTunes, too.
Okay.
I'll put in a little verbiage at the end of this.
Okay. Yep. We'll plug you as much as we can.
Absolutely.
Although this isn't coming out for another, 2 or 3 months, this podcast. So
Right.
This year, at least.
That's okay. We'll get you some more comments. All right, so we need to rank. Percentage.
79.
92.
95.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Yeah,
I
I
like this one.
We liked it. I need to hear the next one.
Well, this song is called Starstruck, and it's 2:22. And the one fact about that I found about this song is that this was the only song released as a single, and Picture Book, the one that we also thought could have been a single, was the B-side. So I don't know if they were trying to put out two, but Starstruck was the side A. So to me, this is the single. We'll see how we feel about it being a single, but I think factually that's what's going on. Go for it, Amy.
All I wrote down was catchy. I think this was so I was working on this during my daughter's swim clinic, and she has an hour-long swim clinic. So I was like, perfect. I'm going to sit down. I got my notes in front of me, and I'm just going to write down what I'm feeling. And so this was probably about halfway through, maybe a little bit long. And so I was starting to get over it, guys. And so that's not to say I didn't like the song, because it actually ranked pretty high, but I was tired of analyzing. So I wrote down catchy, and that's it. That's all that I had to think about it at the time. Sorry.
It's fine. This is mid-tempo. I don't know if this really quite works for me. It does remind me, thinking of Starstruck, there are songs on Ziggy Stardust that have a fairly similar vibe to them. Just in terms of just the types of chords used and the instrumentation. I could see this on that album, but even still, it would be sitting up next to not Life on Mars, Starman and Suffragette City and stuff, and you'd be it would be totally overshadowed by those mega songs. And so for this, it's just sort of it's all right. I guess the proof is in the pudding, because this was released as a single, and the album didn't chart at all. Because usually when I'm doing the notes for this, I look what position did it get to on the charts, and it was not applicable. Did not chart. So yeah, it's fine. And again, lyrically, also, I don't know what it's much about, other than people being starstruck, but it didn't. I didn't feel like it had anything to say either, so this was just sort of, it was right in the middle for me. It's fine. I don't hate it, but it's just okay.
Yeah, it's interesting what you said about it being a single, because what popped in my head, Doug, is us, and we had our Weezer podcast, and I think one of us said, Make Believe's a really good album, but for some reason, Beverly Hills, and it's really popular, people love that song, but that's the lead single, and to me, that's by far not the best song on the album. So I think, knowing that this was a single, it's disappointing, because there's already been at least 3 or 4 or 5 that I think are just better. I think the verses are really cool. I really do like them. But to me, the chorus is just super annoying. Starstruck, baby. And maybe because they double up the vocals on it and it's kind of sing-alongable. And so I get that they did it as a single, but it's kind of mixed for me, because I think the verses are fairly cool, but then the chorus is kind of eh. So yeah, it kind of ends up being middle of the road, kind of maybe a little bit on the lower side. I think because of that chorus, I probably would skip over this song. We'll see how you guys feel after, a year from now coming back, but I'm kind of good on this one.
Okay.
All right.
So you're up for the percentages then.
All right. Well, when I listened to it, I liked it. I gave it a 90.
Oh, wow. I gave it a 70.
Okay, and I gave it a 72, which isn't horrible, but I think it's because I do like the other parts of the song, not the chorus.
Okay.
All right, so we're moving on to a fun one here, guys. It's going to be fun to talk about Phenomenal Cat, which is 2 minutes and 37 seconds.
A long, long time ago, in the land of idiot boys, there lived a cat, a phenomenal cat, who loved to wallow all day. No one bothered him as he sat content in his tree. He just lived to eat, 'cause it kept him fat, and that's how he wanted to stay. Though he was big and fat, all the world was good to him, and he pointed out on the map all the places he had been: Cow, Sardinia, Kathmandu, the Scilly Isles, and Sahara too.
Yeah, this is one of the more experimental ones, on the album. This definitely feels very 1968 to have a song like this. This is very, it's very flute forward, which I wrote, again, the Moody Blues I wrote down. Their big hit with like Tuesday Afternoon or Nights in White Satin, right? Like those kinds of things. Very symphonic and flute heavy. This is interesting. It's again kind of sing-songy. And also the cat was fat. So continuing our trend of obesity on this album, yes. They mentioned that. But also like the lyrics get kind of weird because they're talking about like he's a cat and he's a cat, but then they start talking about he travels all over the world. He is a phenomenal cat. He goes to all these places. It almost sounds like it's the theme song to a movie, like where the cat is voiced by a celebrity or something in 1968. So I like this. It's not my favorite, but I like that it's such it's a departure. Like it's plenty weird, and I always give weird, a few extra points.
Yeah. I'm looking on Wikipedia, and it says, I'm not going to go too far into this, but the first sentence about the song is, phenomenal cat tells the story of a flying cat who has visited exotic places like Kathmandu and Hong Kong. It does feel like that. He's just kind of flying on.
I thought it was like probably just like he's the cat. Like he's just it's like a metaphor or whatever. I didn't even take it that far. Yeah, but go on. Anyways, it's your turn.
It does kind of tell a story, which I don't even know what the story is, but I think that's kind of cool, which, again, helps it paint a picture. I like the whole flute going on in it. It makes it kind of psychedelic and weird. It feels kind of Beatle-ish, like it could have been on like a Magical Mystery Tour or maybe Sgt. Pepper's or something like that. I feel like they didn't execute it to its full potential. I think the idea of it is really cool, but I feel like they could have done more and made it better. And maybe that's why it ended up on the second side kind of later down. I feel like bands tend to put the songs they don't love the most like deeper into the album kind of towards the end. Well, maybe sometimes the last song might be something that they really love. But around this time, this is where you would put some of the weird stuff. And I don't know if they consider this a weird stuff or not. The thing that I think is really cool about this is the whole like fum dum diddly dum, like they're just kind of humming that weird stuff there. It's cool. It's definitely, again, we're still at a point in the album where we're getting new stuff. This doesn't sound like anything else on this album, which is cool. So again, I think it makes the album better for me, but this song,
He's just kind of nodding, guys. You can't see him. It's not a video podcast, but Kyle's going meh, with his face.
What do you got to say, Amy?
All right. This song's okay. I mean, I didn't have that much to say about it either. I wrote down that I liked the flute. I wrote down wind instrument. It was a flute, right?
Yeah.
There's like a kind of nice little change in melody at the third stanza. I don't know if that's the chorus. And then the voice, like, this is a random connection, but I thought he was very intentional with the way he was saying the words, and like the pronunciation is very clear, and it reminded me of a Phantom Planet song. But it's nothing like Phantom Planet at all. Do you guys know Phantom Planet?
Yeah. Over there.
Yeah, California. But there's a song on that California album called Lonely Day, and it just the way that he pronounces the songs or the words very much reminded me of Alex Greenwald. Is that right?
No fucking clue.
Okay. Well, that might come up on a future podcast. I was thinking about that. Anyways, that's kind of all I had to say. It was just kind of okay. Meh. I'll do what Kyle did. Meh.
All right, so time for some numbers.
Who wants to go first?
75.
Okay. I gave this one a 75 as well.
73. Wow.
Oh,
right
that would have been fun. If we get all three the same, we should go
win a
do
prize.
something. I don't know what.
Everyone gets free tacos at Taco Bell.
You get to listen to the podcast for free.
Yeah.
If we get the same number.
All right. So All of My Friends Were There is the next song on this album, 223.
My big day, it was the biggest day of my life. It was the summit of my long career, but I felt so down and I drunk too much beer. The management said that I shouldn't appear. I walked out onto the stage and started to speak. The first night I'd missed for a couple of years. I explained to the crowd and they started to cheer. And just when I wanted no one to be there, all of my friends were there. Not just my friends, but their best friends too. All of my friends were there to stand and stare, say what they may, understand. Those who laughed were not friends anyway. All of my
I think it's a fucking banger. I mean, I think there's nothing like this. I think it's a drinking song. I think that I have not heard anything like this that has that polka kind of in the beginning, and then it goes into this like 6/8. We can talk about time signatures, but for those, Amy looks at me. I know Doug knows what I mean. Amy, like,
I mean, I sort of know, but not. I don't think
It's number of beats in a measure.
Yeah. So I like that there's that change there. I think there's that cool harmonica that goes on in the chorus. It just feels so sing-alongable. The story is that he was playing a show and he fell down and literally it's what happened. He fell down, he drank too much beer, and all of his friends were there. And I like how he says, not just my friends, but their friends too. Like, that's just so funny to me. No one sings like that. I thought that this was such a fun song. I feel like it's a surprise. I feel like it doesn't again, we still have at a point where there's nothing like this on the album. There's really not a lot of repeats, even though the vibe is very similar throughout the whole album. But when I get to this song, I'm like turning it up, I'm cranking it. It's like a treat. It's just like, cool, I get to hear this one now. And it goes by so quick. For some reason, it feels longer. I think it's because of those two different parts are so distinct. If this feels like a 3.5 minute song, but 2:23, I mean, it's really short. I'm actually surprised that this is not a song that I knew, or probably a lot of people don't know, because to me, this is super catchy and sing-alongable and like a bar drinking song. So the melody's great. I could probably talk a lot about this song. I'll just go ahead and hand it off to Amy.
All right. I like this one. I thought it was really dynamic. There's a lot of interesting changing parts to it. I didn't know the story about him falling and then having the friends there, but I wrote down, I thought it was a transition between having stage fright and like maybe singing for the first time in front of like a big group, and everyone's there to watch him and being nervous, and then like realizing like you don't care if anyone, like you don't care about if you mess up, you don't care who's there, you're just gonna do it anyways. But I guess it's not really about that. I like it. It's catchy. It's fun. It is a banger.
I like this one too.
Woo!
Yeah, I think Kyle, you hit it on the head. I think, and you too. You use the word dynamic. Like again, yeah, you've got those very stark, different parts of the song, right? With that 4/4, just bop 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 da da da, and then when we get to the and all of my friends were there, it slows down a lot, and that's a rare thing that often you might have a chorus if it's in a different tempo or time signature, it speeds up. It's very rare to have a chorus where you slam on the brakes. Yeah. And change down into a 6. It is 6/8. I think you're right. Where it's like instead of that bop bop, it's all of my friends were there. That is a very different feel. It is drunken and sloshy. Like you can feel that. You're kind of like seasick sound to it as he's singing that, and it is really fun. Like I think it's not the greatest melody in the world, so that might be reflected in my score, but I do really appreciate, like, again, this is some of the best lyrics on the album, and the construction of it is really cool.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Fun stuff.
So I think it's me. I gave it an 80. I thought it was really good. Wow. I liked it. Again, it's just I wish I liked the melody itself more, but I still think it's a good song. So 80.
I gave it a 95. Love this song.
92.
Awesome.
We should talk about how we percentaged things. Because for me, it's like, this is a 92 on this album, kind of in its own, like, ecosystem. But, like, is it a 92 in Amy Land? I don't know that it is. So,
I'm looking at this album. Yeah, I'm grading the album on its own merits. I'm trying to take myself and my personal preferences out of it.
Yeah, it's the same because, like, this song I put it, a 95, but then... like on some of for Weezer podcasts, like I did the same thing and I rated the songs, and like there was very few songs that got to 95. But then I'm thinking about this and I'm like, I love this song, but there's probably a good amount of Weezer songs that I like more, like 5 or 10 maybe that I actually like more than that. So yeah, I think it's this album is like with itself. Where's the grade, right?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, but I did personally like put my own personal, because I can't listen to a song and not have like my own preference in there, like. Although some of these scores are pretty high, because I'm like, oh, I'm sure musically this is like good, but I just don't like it. So that's like a 75 to me.
Yeah, I have to do that because, like, otherwise, like, if you ask me, name a song that you would give, like, a 95% grade to, and I'd be like, I don't know, Black Dog by Led Zeppelin. And then, like, this song, you know, I like it. It's not Black Dog, right? Like, even if I gave it the 95 here, that would not mean I view that song as equal to other things like that.
Well, if you took, like, your favorite song from, like, 10 albums, they're not all going to rank 95. Because they're going to then be, you have to rank them next to each other.
Within themselves,
right.
Yeah. So, all right.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
All right, so next up is Wicked Annabella, 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
In a dark and misty house, where no Christian man has been, wicked Annabella mixes a brew that no one's ever seen. Relatives have passed her by, too scared to even say hello. She's in perpetual midnight, she shuts out the day and goes about her simple ways. I've seen her hair, I've seen her face, but towards mine, I both her eyes, a burn in my soul, twisting my mind.
This is the one track on the album where his brother Dave Davies is actually singing lead vocals, even though Ray did write the song on every other song. So Wicked Annabella, I think, Doug, it is your turn. Oh, I think it's Amy's turn.
I think it's Amy's, yeah.
Okay, good, because I don't have a lot to say about this one. It felt so different to me. I didn't even catch that it was a different singer, so maybe now that's why it felt like just like a shift is what I wrote down. I wrote musically it sounds the same, but lyrically I don't understand what's happening. It doesn't sound like it's part of like the rest of the album. I don't know if, I mean, looking at it, I'm like, is it like a person? Like, you know, everyone has those stories about like, oh, there's a witch in the town and we all talk about her. And I don't know if that's what it's trying to evoke here. This song was just okay for me. I'm sorry. I don't really have too much to say about it. I honestly can't really remember how it goes musically.
Da 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 da. It's, yeah. This is a song, like, you would hear songs like this in 1968 that are like harbingers of heavy metal about to happen. You know, again, you get this just before you start getting like Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin coming to the forefront with things that take this sound farther into what we would now recognize as heavy metal.
Like Iron Butterfly in Agata Davida, right?
Right, yeah. There are things like this. It's a heavier minor key riff. And so I appreciate it. As you said, yeah, it does stand out from the rest of the album. This sound is very unlike everything else. I give it points for being Halloweenish because I love Halloween stuff. So I'm like, oh, you could put this into a Halloween playlist about Wicked Annabella. And yeah, I do think that's exactly the vibe they're talking about with this, like, the town witch. Is she really a witch, or do people just, you know, stay, you know, across the street to get away from her? I don't know. But I think they leave that possibility of, like, maybe she really is a witch in this town. So I liked it. I appreciated it. Again, like, I feel like if other heavy metal existed at this time, you would be kind of measuring it against that. But because this is like the primordial soup of what was about to be heavy metal, I feel like it's not quite there yet. But you need these stepping stones to get to, like I said, Black Sabbath and Iron Maiden and all these bands that come later. So this one's, again, this is okay. I think it's an interesting contribution to the album. That's not my favorite thing on it, but I think it's interesting.
Okay. So it's interesting about the whole heavy metal, because, like, I agree with everything that you're saying. It does feel like it's this pre-Black Sabbath. But, like, if a kid heard this, they'd be like, heavy metal? What? Like, System of a Down and Metallica's heavy metal. Like, this is nothing. But this is, like, its influence. Like, you can tell that this is kind of, like, the beginning of what was going to come 70s, 80s, 90s. I like this one. This is pretty cool. I like the drum intro. I like the way the drums overall feel on that. I don't know if they mixed them different on this song than they did on other songs, but I just really love what's happening with the toms and the drums. It does feel fully psychedelic. That guitar is cool, how it's doing like that. It feels, I mean, heavy metal is probably not the word exactly that I use, even though I agree with what you're saying, Doug. But it's just kind of grungy, like, but not grunge. It's not Alice in Chains, but it's different. It's definitely different than anything. Again, we're at a point on the album where 13 songs in, and this song is not like nothing else. Again, this song sort of paints a picture to me. It's kind of eerie and dark, and I like that. I feel like it's very raw. I don't feel like they spent a lot of time fine-tuning the production of this song. They just kind of took what was there and went with it. It does not feel like a single to me. I don't think that many people in the world have probably heard this song, unless you're like a hardcore Kinks fan. But it's pretty cool, I still like it. I still think it's kind of up the middle. There's definitely ones that are way worse than this, and there's a bunch that are better. So, yeah, pretty cool.
Okay. So for me, it's a 75.
I gave this an 80.
79, right in the middle, you guys.
I'm telling you, we're going to land on 80.
Probably. We only got 2 more here. So the next one up is Monica. I believe it's not quite the shortest song. Village Green was at 2:08. This one's at 2:13.
Under a lamplight, Monica stands at midnight, and every guy thinking come by her love. But Monica buys sweet loving for Monica. Morning to moonshine, Monica knows every line. Don't ever propose, 'cause Monica knows you know. She'll turn up her nose and say what a fool you are. I shall die, I shall die if I should lose Monica.
In my history, I've always feel like bands put the worst song second to last. This is second to last, and let's go ahead and do it. Who's starting this one? I think this is probably Doug.
So this is like a samba tune. Like it's got this like Latin kind of bounce to it, kind of acoustic guitar, like you can feel kind of the dance to it. I lyrically I like this. Talking about this guy's in love with this girl Monica, who's kind of, I guess, aloof is the best word I can think of. Right? She's kind of spunky, but she's she's not overly sweet or likable. Right? She's kind of a tough cookie, and so I appreciated that. But I wasn't crazy about the music. But yes, there's some good lyrical turns of phrases here. It says, "Don't ever propose, 'cause Monica knows she'll turn up her nose and say what a fool you are," right? Like they're not painting the kindest picture of this woman, but everybody seems to like her anyway. So I think this one is it's good in the lyrics, but the music is just kind of like this like it's a beat to keep you dancing, I guess, as a samba, but it's not. It didn't like I couldn't whistle the tune, if you asked me to.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I feel like I'm on a beach with this song. Kind of feels beachy. Like I'm sitting at a bar at a beach drinking a pina colada. I actually don't feel like this song really fits on the album. I mean, it is sort of eclectic, which makes it do fit, like Phenomenal Cat and some of these ones that don't sound like anything. So it is that. So the album does have that sort of genre going for it, where it has all these different styles. But overall, it kind of, to me, it doesn't really fit. I think I could do without it. I don't think I hate it. I just don't really love it. I wrote down that the chorus is a little annoying. This is kind of a skipper for me. Not so much to say about Monica. Unless we're going to talk about Monica on Friends, but, that's not what we're talking about.
I'm kind of Monica on Friends. I mean, I ranked this song just like some of the other ones because it felt like musically very similar, but this is definitely like my least favorite. Although honestly, like I don't know if mathematically I'm being honest, like I might have had other songs. I guess I had others that were lower. Anyways, I actually wrote down feels like a second to last song
Good call, Amy.
Like,
yes,
and
it
it was a
does.
callback from that last, like, when you said that they're the worst songs, and this was definitely like, oh yeah, we'll just put it in here because we got to end on a better one, and no one will remember this. And honestly, like, this album is so long. Like, there are some filler songs in here, and this one didn't need to be on this album.
It's 39 minutes, though.
Oh, is it really? I mean, but still, like, you don't need a song just, like, this just didn't, it wasn't additive in any way. And I wrote down, I was kind of over the album at this point. It's too long. I checked out. It felt like the rest of them. Oh, I wrote down, it did remind me of Sting, though. So there are elements of it that were stingy. I'd have to listen to it again.
I think is it maybe the way that he's Monica?
Yeah,
He
probably.
kind of pronounces things.
Maybe. I don't really remember.
I was going to say nothing else about it.
It's vocally then, yeah.
Okay, the Police or their Sting solo stuff didn't remind me of that. But I see then maybe, yeah, the slight reggae-ness to it.
Yeah.
Pronunciation.
Yeah, reggae-ish. Yeah. Anyways, I don't have anything to say either. I'm sorry. Meh. But it still got an okay score. It got a 75 because it felt like, I mean, it's not like terrible music. It's just, for me, it doesn't do anything.
I also gave it a 75. Kyle?
No, it's lower.
No, sorry, guys. It's pretty low. It's 69. 69, dudes.
Dork.
See how we do on the last one, and maybe we can all harmonize on one rating.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Probably not.
Last song on the album, People Take, long title, People Take Pictures of Each Other, only 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
People take pictures of the summer, just in case someone thought they had missed it, and to prove that it really existed. Fathers take pictures of the mothers, and the sisters take pictures of brothers, just to show that they love one another. You can't picture love that you took from me when we were young and the world was free. Pictures of things as they used to be. Don't show me no more, please. People take pictures of each other just to prove that they really existed. Just to prove that they really existed. People take pictures of each other, and a moment can last.
This song, when I first heard it, I just laughed. Because I just think of family members that I know that just like to take pictures of everything. So it just felt very satirical.
Are you talking about me?
No, I'm actually not.
Okay.
I'm talking about others, even though I know you like to take pictures. I think it's so funny how he says, like, to know that they always existed. He pronounces it so funny, like he's mocking people that are taking pictures of everything. People take pictures of each other just to know that they really existed. Like, who says that? That's just so cool. This is one of the songs where the lyrics actually stick out to me. This and all of my friends were there, right? It just really sticks out. It's fast. It's really upbeat, back and forthy. I like this one. This is really cool. I don't think there's anything like this that I really ever heard in my life. I think it completely belongs on the album. I don't know that it feels like a closer, but at the same time, I don't know what song I would put as I might end with Village Green because we started with the Village Green Preservation. That might be how I would have done it, but this works. It's cool. It's funny. Good stuff. I really like it.
Yeah, I think it's kind of annoying, but it's still catchy and kind of fun too. The title, like, I thought I'd already heard it, and so I had to check. But there's another song, like the pictures of what was it? I already asked this question when we first did
Picture book.
Oh, picture book.
Yeah, so it was kind of like bookend, although that wasn't at the very beginning, but like it bookendy a little bit. I like what you just said about like people taking pictures to prove it happened. That kind of reminds me of social media these days, where it's like everyone's got to put it up on their stories that they were hanging out with somebody, and they got to prove how cool they are because they, and I'm guilty of it too. I'm not saying I'm not, but it's like sometimes it's like, let's just go have fun, and like, do we really have to like, yeah, take the photo, but do you really have to post the photo to prove that you did the thing? I mean, we're all kind of annoying as a society. I'm part of it. I'm not perfect. But yeah, I liked the tambourine. So yeah, this was kind of fun. I like this one. I think Celeste heard it and hated it, right?
I was using it to annoy them.
Oh, okay, it worked.
I was trying to like. It's a little snivelly, and like I kind of wanted to ramp that up a bit. And so I was just going up to her and being like, people take pictures of each other. And like, she was going nuts. I thought it was really funny because they hadn't heard the song. I just did that to them a couple of times and then I played it. So their impression was just me doing it as the most annoying thing in the world.
That's always going to be annoying to them, right?
So now I made it
honestly,
annoying.
though, I kept playing the music in the car with both of them because it's like I have to listen to it and I don't have that many opportunities to listen to music.
So you got to suck it up, guys.
And I had to put it on in the car because like when I'm working, I can't be listening to people take pictures and I'm trying to write like a serious letter to somebody. No. So it's like, you guys have to listen. I don't think they liked it because it was always like, can we listen to Benson Boone now?
Yeah, I do find the melody here a little annoying, but I do like the lyrics. You know, they, as you said, like we've gone from this world where like the most awful thing you could do to people who came over to your house was like, we're going to put slides on the wall of our vacation to wherever, right? That was like, how are we going to torture you? And now it's like, picture it didn't happen. I'm putting photos of everything on Facebook. And how come you didn't like the picture I posted, right? How come you're not checked in to see every picture of everything I'm doing? So yeah, this idea, like, it's interesting. Here's this song from 1968 sort of being very prescient in that regard. But yeah, for me, the melody was just a little off. And I totally agree. I don't know why this is the closer. This does not feel like a closing song. This feels like, you know, when you put in between a couple of other, like where Phenomenal Cat is, right? Like that's not a closer either. That's like you fit that in between two other songs. So I don't know what the
filler.
Closer, yeah, I don't know what the closer would be. Even like Picture Book actually would be more of a closer.
Maybe Riverside one, do 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 do, and it kind of goes off into the distance.
Yeah, well, it is the closer of that side of the record, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it just needed one more song or just a different order, but
I've got enough.
So yeah, that's what I think of the song. I've said enough now, so we'll move on to the next part. So grades. Is it me first? I gave this one a 70.
Yeah, I know I kind of make fun of it, but 91.
Oh,
really
wow.
dig it.
And I'm at 80. So we're all like 70, 80, 90.
Yes.
Exactly. Like I said, we're going to land on 80.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about like an overall, but then we're also going to go through some of our favorites and some of our worst, right, guys?
Right.
Sure.
So it's time for our favorite tracks here. So Amy, you want to take away? What were your favorite ones?
All right. Well, I liked the Riverside one. Am I even calling River? What is it?
Sitting by the Riverside.
Sitting by the Riverside. I think I liked the ones that like stood out and were like slightly more dynamic to me. Although you guys are like, it's boring and slow. So that one I liked. And what's the other one? All of My Friends Were There is a big one. I'll go with those two. There were a couple others that rated in the 90s as well, but we'll call it those.
Yeah, and my two highest scores were for Big Sky and for Village Green. So that's, like I said, it's borne out in the math, and I think those are my two favorites.
Okay, that's fair. So I just put out the ones that made 90s and above, and there are 3. So Do You Remember Walter? People Take Pictures of Each Other, and then I think that All of My Friends Were There is probably my very best. I feel like that's the kind of song that I would pull from all of this and stick it on in my own mix, because I just think it's such a cool song.
All right, now let's talk about our toilet songs. Can we call them that for the rest of the podcast?
Sure.
Or the shitters.
Yeah. The hitters and the shitters.
Nice.
Go ahead, Em.
Oh, the talkie one, the Big Sky talkie one. And then I think probably the Monica song.
Yeah, I think you didn't like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. My lowest scores. I didn't like Sitting by the Riverside.
We're like opposite. How are we married?
Did not work for me. I wasn't as crazy. But yeah, Monica is probably down there. So I'll go with those two.
Ditto. I mean, the two that are below 70 are the ones that I picked, and it's Sitting by the Riverside and Monica. It seems like, Doug, we lined up pretty close on this album.
Yeah. All right, then it's time for our final thoughts. Just your
an overall percentage, right?
Oh yeah, the overall percentage. Sorry,
final thoughts, and then go into percentages, or you guys want to do our math first? Who's got Kyle? Do you have Excel up so you could do our?
Yeah, I have
Excel. Or you just do it in your head, or with a calculator, I guess.
No, I just do an Excel formula and that averages it.
So for all three of us, yeah. Okay. So me?
Sure.
Or who? Okay, for me it ranked at 82% when I averaged it out.
And I averaged out at 79.93%.
Wow. And I'm close to the middle. So 80.07, just barely over the 80 mark.
I knew it.
So it's basically 80%.
What is it mathematically, though?
80%.
Really?
Do you guys remember? I know that at this point the
up,
Jason Mraz one has already. But I think we can't. It's like comparing apples to oranges, right? Because we didn't do the same
we did
math.
A minuses. I mean, we could do some math and like retroactively.
Yeah, I
not
think
right
we're
this
okay.
second though. I don't remember what we
Just
landed
going
on.
for
Do
it.
you guys?
No, that's all right.
No.
I don't remember either.
Okay, so final thoughts then on overall closing thoughts on the Kinks are the whatever the Kinks are the Village Green Preservation Society. Yeah.
I mean, I guess like if you have an album that's generally well regarded, you're going to have lows, mediums, and highs. So I mean, it was fun to kind of go through and see like what are the ones and how do they stand out and why do they stand out. But I mean, overall, I'm really not going to come back to this album a lot. You know, I mean, if it hasn't come up in my world on my Pandora or on the radio, I'm really not going to come back to this that often. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm looking at the year it was released.
68.
So November 22nd, 1968. Is that exactly a year before? When did Kennedy die? 1963?
Yeah, 63.
11/22 though.
11/22.
Yeah, same date. I don't know why.
So 5 years later.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I don't know, guys. This is okay. I mean, it ranked up as a B, so it's not too bad. But am I going to come and visit this album again? Probably not. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I found this really interesting as a research assignment. This is one that totally passed me by, and so it's from a period of music I generally really like, and so this was really just a cool bit of exploration. I think there's individual songs on here I really like. I don't know that I would throw the whole album on again, maybe just because I listened to it 20 times in the last couple of weeks. I need a break from it, but this does feel like it's of a piece with a lot of things that I do like. So I'm sure once I've kind of let the cool down happen, I will come back to this. And maybe this will trigger me to go, well, let me listen to a different Kinks album. Listen to the one with Lola on it, or hear some of their other stuff that is not deliberately, a concept album or being experimental, because that definitely colors the way you view this.
Something else in Face to Face. Side note, 2 other great Kinks albums. So I love this album. I mean, that's why I recommended it. I think that this podcast is really cool because basically the assignment was, in this situation, Kyle gets to give a song to Doug and Amy that you guys have to listen to. You guys had to. It wasn't like, hey, I'm texting with Amy and there's this cool album, check it out. She's like, fuck you, whatever.
Sometimes
in this situation, you guys had to do it. I got to make the rules. So thank you. Thanks for playing along, and I'm really glad that I can tell you guys did your homework in full. Like, you guys made really great comments all about, so I appreciate that. Again, I think this is a good one for me. So I'm only a year into knowing this. I think it will still remain in my rotation. I really like it a lot. There are other Kinks albums that I think are maybe good, maybe better, maybe a little worse. I don't know, but there's some other good ones out there. I'm really into this band. I don't know that this album will stand the test of time. Most people don't know this album now, so I think that's why the answer is probably going to be a no. I also think the fact that there are no hits on it. I mean, if you had like a Welcome to the Jungle on this album, then it's like people are going to go back to the album just because there's the one big song. And I think, Doug, you would ask me like, well, okay, cool, what's the song on that album that I'm like, there aren't any, right? None of them are like big popular songs. But I like it, and I think I'll leave it in my repertoire. Keep listening, and I hope that everyone else out there, maybe this helps album sales for this a little bit.
Yes.
Cool stuff.
All 3 people that are listening. Us.
Yeah, us
and all of our friends.
Hi, Kyle.
Hey, Amy. Thanks for listening.
Hi, Cammie. How you doing?
Is she gonna listen? Does she listen to all of the Nostalgia podcasts?
She listens. Yeah, maybe not all, but she jumps around.
Certain topics that interest her.
Yeah.
So now it's time for next episode's homework assignment, and it's my turn to give the assignment.
I'm excited, Doug. I've been waiting for this.
It is not what you think, Kyle. So I was thinking about what would be potentially interesting, just for a minute, like there's a lot to analyze and musically and just be interesting. And it was something that had come up before. I was like, oh, you don't really know this band, so maybe it's a good chance at least for Kyle to get into this. So I'm going to go with Black Holes and Revelations by Muse.
Okay.
So if you've not really listened to this, it's like the first time I heard this, you know what the musical influences are. It's like if you take Johann Sebastian Bach, Queen, and Depeche Mode and put them in a blender, you get this. So like these songs are really complex. They're really interesting, and they're the musicianship is, I think, off the charts. So whether you like it or not, I think what you can't deny is there's a lot of really thoughtful, interesting stuff happening, and so that I think that'll make for a good discussion, whether you love it or hate it. So, so we're going with again, Black Holes and Revelations by Muse, probably their biggest album.
Interesting.
I'm excited. So,
go ahead.
The thing about this album is, I know it. I mean, I know the big song. We won't get into song. Well, whatever. That's not the Starlight, right? Starlight's on this one.
There's 3 big hits off this album. Starlight, Supermassive Black Hole, and Knights of Sidonia are the 3 big songs off of it.
I worked at a job 15 years ago, I guess 20 years ago-ish, maybe 18 years, whatever. And they had someone had known someone from a radio station, and they dumped like 1,000 albums on a drive, and I knew Starlight, so I actually turned this album on when I was at work one day in my headphones while I was doing work. So I've actually heard the full album, but I don't remember anything except Starlight, so I'm excited to get back into this. What do you think, Amy?
I mean, I feel like I know their songs from like the radio, but are those the really big ones?
Yeah.
You'll know Starlight.
Then I don't know the names of the songs.
Yeah, well, some of their biggest hits are off of their album that comes before this called Absolution. So Time Is Running Out is on that album, as is a song called Hysteria. Those are 2 songs you might know by them. Again, maybe not by title, but you would hear them and you go, oh, I heard this on K-Rock 100 times.
This can...
That's later, but yes.
That's Uprising, which is off the album.
I like that one.
That's off the album that follows this one.
Okay. So yeah, I'm probably not super familiar. I mean, this is kind of not an Amy genre. So here we go. But I was expecting it to be like classic rock again, and I was going to be bored. So I'm glad it's a little bit more modern.
We're going to talk about plugs in a minute, but usually we're plugging things that are older covering things that are older for the other podcast. Yeah. And so this is like, this is something more modern that wouldn't come up modern. Again, This is like a 20-year-old album now.
Yeah.
But still, compared to 1968, and I thought about pulling things from that era, but this was just like, again, musically here, there's a lot going on. So I just think like we're gonna have a lot of interesting things to sink our teeth into as we analyze it. So.
I think
we're gonna need a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm. 2 things. I think that you and I are just wanting Kyle like to analyze it from like a musical standpoint. Like me, I'm still like the little girl who's like, I hope my brother likes the music I want him to listen to. So I'm very much picking it with like that lens of like, okay, this is too girly songwritery, so I gotta pick something a little more like. So it's interesting.
Balls. It's gotta have some balls.
We're gonna do some shit that you're gonna hate, and it's too
Fuck
fucking
off.
bad. Sorry, we're listening to what's her name from the Brooke Ramel.
That's when I say, guys, I'm handing in my resignation.
So I made Kyle go see this like. She was catchy. Like you have to
admit.
Wait,
we saw her?
Yeah, I made you go to South Coast Fashion Island.
Folks out there, the way that we know that Kyle doesn't like it is because he doesn't remember it at all. Tell me more about this.
You and me and Kristen went to, it was right outside Nordstrom, where they usually have like the big tree. It's where we kind of go now. We walk in on that side. Mm-hmm. And yeah, she was set up and she had her guitar and her piano, kind of blonde lady. Do you know who I'm talking about? The Knights and
Well, I remember the name Brooke Ramel because I used to make fun of it, but that's all I have. I don't have any memory of you and me and Kristen.
Yeah, well, we went, or maybe it was Tanya. I can't remember. Anyways, what I was going to ask you was how long is this album, the Muse album?
Oh, the how long the tracks are all put together?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
There's 12 songs and it's 45 minutes.
Okay,
so it's actually longer than what we just.
But barely. The last one was 39, so that's not so bad. Yeah. Okay, I can handle this. All right, maybe we'll give ourselves a little bit longer. Anyways, we should plug things and go to sleep.
Let's do it.
I'm sorry, 11 songs. Only 11 songs.
Yeah, there's some, we'll have to figure that. There are some versions of the album where there's a 12th song. I think canonically, though, technically it's just those first 11, and that last one, a song called Glorious, is a bonus track. So I think we should end at Knights of Sidonia. That's probably
11. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So that's your homework. And so now it's time to plug things. Amy, where can they find your cool jewelry?
All right. If you want some handmade polymer clay jewelry by your wonderful host, you can find me on Etsy, Instagram, and TikTok under Momo Bunniesmore Co.
Kyle, how about your awesome music?
Album just released. It's called In Your Blind Spot by my band Kyle and the Silver Dork. Silver Dork is all of my instruments and all my computer stuff. You can get it everywhere. iTunes, Spotify, you name it, YouTube.
Yep.
Yay.
And we'll put links to both those things in the show notes. As for me, I am the host of the Nostalgium Arcanum podcast. That's our kind of our a weekly nostalgia-based show where we have a guest on every week to talk about some bit of pop culture that they are still obsessed with 20, 30, 40 years later. And so, again, I'll put the information on that in the show notes so you can go find it, as well as links to our various portals where you can reach Playing by Ear. It'll all be in there. I haven't set all that up as of the time of recording, but we'll get it in there by the time you hear it. So, guys, that'll do it. We don't have a cute sign-off, so until next time.
That's one more
A
entry.
cute sign-off.
I was doing your other podcast. We need a cute sign-off. 1, 2, 3. Let's
Catch you later.
Thanks for listening.
All right.
We're workshopping it.
People take pictures of the summer, just in case someone thought they had missed it, just to prove that it really existed. People take pictures of each other, of a moment that lasts them forever, and the time when they